want to share with you something that might be helpful for you if you are dealing with past trauma. And I want to let you know how it can sometimes affect your everyday in really small ways. When you have past trauma, sometimes what you can have also is something called PTSD or CPTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, complex traumatic stress disorder. And when that happens, it's difficult for you to see tomorrow or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years down the road. And sometimes just the thought of looking into that future like that and making plans for it can be so overwhelming that it's just crazy. This morning, I went to go make a berry smoothie for breakfast, and I pulled the berries out of the fridge, and all of my berries were frozen together in one big clump because we had a power outage that last week. My berries thawed and then they refroze, and so I had to break them up for the smoothie. So I broke them up, and then I finally got enough for our smoothie, and I put it in the blender, made our smoothie, and then I'm looking at the big brick of frozen berries, and I think, I don't want to do this tomorrow, so let me break up the berries today. That right there is a thought that was so far from me at one point. I would have never been able to imagine doing something the next day. I would have left that as a brick and I just would have dealt with it day after day after day, because the thought of tomorrow was so overwhelming to me that I could not be bothered with it. I couldn't be bothered thinking about tomorrow. And maybe that sounds irresponsible, but when you are dealing with trauma that needs to be worked through, your day is so consuming in itself and your future is so uncertain because you always feel like something might happen, something bad might happen, that you can't even go there, that you're just actually unable to. Sometimes it feels like a block, sometimes it just feels like blackness, like you're not able to see past that. So if you're having issues with seeing your future, planning ahead, doing things like meal planning, making financial goals, doing things like that for yourself, if you struggle with that, it could be an indicator that there is some underlying trauma there that needs to be addressed. But the really good news is that it can be overcome, and you'll notice that you're healing and you'll notice that you're doing well when you have small wins like this, where you're thinking of tomorrow, you're preparing for it, you're caring for yourself in the now, and you're also caring for your future self. So just wanted to share that with you today, because those little wins are actually really, really big wins and good indicators of how you're doing on the inside.